Yo, yo,
Yo,
yo, big boy. You hear
what's
me?
goody? What's goody? What's goody? Yes, sir.
Can you hear me real good?
Yes,
Microphone check
sir.
1 2 1 2.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, man. Dog, all this LeBron hate, bro. All this LeBron hate is so crazy, man. You got black men out here defending Kevin Gates. You know what I mean?
Right.
We gonna get into the MJ and LeBron GOAT conversation, but you got black men out here defending Kevin Gates, man. I think that's just off code. That's very off code. Listen, man, if you want to critique the man and how he play and all that, you can do that. If you want to say MJ is the GOAT, Kobe the GOAT, you can say that. I don't believe it, and I got evidence to back it up. But that part is subjective. But
Mm-hmm.
the way they talk about this man as a man,
Mm-hmm.
that's just to me, that's some form of subconscious self-hate. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. You
That's
saying the
just
way
my opinion.
you saying the way they talk about
The way they criticize him outside of basketball. You know what I mean?
hmm I could agree, man. Yeah, I don't what Kevin Gates did was classless, man.
Hey,
For a
hey,
man.
anybody want to hit the link? Look, real quick. Anybody want to hit the link and come up and talk on the stage? All y'all got to do is create a little profile. That's for free. Go ahead, big boy.
Yeah, so what they did, what was done to LeBron, the disrespect to his wife was just classless from Kevin Gates. And you know Kevin Gates is from my city. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you talk a little bit louder, but I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, it was just completely classless what he did. And I just don't respect the fact of how he disrespected the man's wife. Um, and you know the representation of LeBron and his wife. That's his high school sweetheart. He never changed. Uh, no matter the amount of success he's obtained, he stuck with his day one from A1, and that's for anybody that's to respect. I mean, just me personally, anyone that try to hate or entertain this foolishness that's being put out in the atmosphere to come against what uh, he has and what he represents as a man that has a wife and kids, still with his family that he was with from high school. To me, it's just very immature, very childish, and stupid, right? So, man, much respect to LeBron and continue the success that he's doing and representing the black community as a father, because we need more homes with fathers. And for Kevin Gates to say some stuff about he liked the way white women look, the man wife should be looking at him like how white women do. That was just some sellout tap dancing coon stuff, if you ask me, bro. You feel me? Um,
Yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah. And then they
you
gonna
know he from my hometown, Gates from my hometown, right?
yeah.
I lost respect for Gates for doing it. You know, I lost respect for him. It's just some immature teenage. You represent yourself as a Muslim, but you out here being disrespectful like that. That ain't what's up, man. You supposed to be
Yeah,
saluting.
that's very disrespectful. And
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily agree with LeBron going up to Stephen A. Smith,
Hmm.
right? But at the end of the day, that's a man going at somebody about because you coming at LeBron as a person. You coming at him as a man. If you want to say he don't hit free throws like Jordan and all that, hey man, let's talk about it. Let's bring out the numbers. Let's bring out the analytics. But far as all that other stuff, and it's just and a lot of the stuff they say about LeBron, it's just false to me. My personal opinion is false. All this he weak and he soft. Hold on, you got a little background, big boy. Let me mute you up real quick. All that he weak and he soft and all that. How this man weak and soft? And he made his name off the and one. When LeBron came into the league, he was the young boy. Soon as he hit the court, we already knew he was gonna be great. And he made his name off of going to the rack, completing the play, getting fouled. It's the same dynamic as Shaq, right? Shaq complained a lot the fact that he got fouled on every play, right? They could have called a foul on Shaq every play. It's the same dynamic with LeBron. LeBron bigger than most of the people that he was playing against, so he was getting fouled a lot. So at some point, because I will admit, yes, he do flop. LeBron James do flop. That's not no that there's no secret. There's no secret there. The brother do flop, but I could show you tapes of MJ flopping too, acting like a sniper shot him from the top roof. I, I'm gonna unmute you, big boy, real quick.
In reference to the flopping, I mean, I don't. I mean, the game is the game. You play the game how it go. And if you could draw a foul, do what you do to draw a foul. They teach you in playing organized basketball, just like they teach you if when someone driving to the lane, if you can hop in front of him and take a foul, you do that. So if you've trained yourself to be good at drawing a foul or causing a foul, I don't knock that, right? But at the end of the day, when we just comparing talent, I don't know if that's what you going into. So I won't argue with you as far as him being a flopper.
Well,
Michael Jordan can do it as well. But now we want to talk about
me.
who's the GOAT. Uh, we can have that conversation when you're ready.
Oh, we could have the conversation. Listen, man, I don't even play the GOAT game. I say that MJ had an error, Kobe had an error, LeBron
Mhm.
had an error, Bill Russell had an error, Kareem had an error that's second to none, if you ask me. If you really want to get down to numbers, but only reason why I play this game is because I see LeBron getting all these accomplishments. He been getting all these accolades, all these awards, and all I hear people say is, "Well, he ain't greater than Jordan because Jordan got 6 rings and 0 losses." Who who told people that going to the finals, not losing, makes you the GOAT, right? Or your record got to be better than the other person in that argument. With that logic, so Patrick Mahomes, he can never be greater than Brady, right? He can never be great. In order for Patrick Mahomes to be greater than Brady, he would have to get more Super Bowl wins and have a better Super Bowl record. If you was to say that, that means you're not a real football purist, right? Just
Mhm.
like if you say, well, no matter what LeBron do, it's not good. It's not enough because MJ got 6 rings and no losses and whatever. I can't even say he stayed on the team because MJ eventually went to the Wizards, right?
Well, I, I mean, if we just gonna say about being a great, of course, no one could deny that LeBron is a great. He's gonna go down as one of the greatest players that ever played the game. No one could deny that. Just his longevity. him being in the league that he, as long as he's been and still be effective as he is, no one could take that away from LeBron. But if we want to get right to it, let's just be honest. At the end of the day, when the game is on the line, or if you had to pick one that you could feel confident that's going to bring you a win in a close, intense game, or um, for a championship, I would have to go with Jordan. Jordan, to me, personally, on that hardwood, he has a more killer instinct, and I would say that he's more reliable in the clutch, regardless to what the paperwork says, regardless to anything.
Yeah, yeah,
Clutch.
yeah. You got to say that. You better say that. You
No,
better say that.
I'm just saying, put the ball.
You
I
better,
mean,
you better say
listen.
regardless of what the paperwork say, because the paperwork
Okay,
say
okay. Let me
that,
ask you
that
this.
LeBron James is more clutch. The
Oh,
paperwork
well,
say
well,
LeBron James is
okay.
more clutch.
To me,
That's what the paperwork says.
I can respect that, but let me ask you a question. Tell me a time have you seen where somebody pissed LeBron off, and because you made him mad, he go for 60 or he give you 50. I mean, you could hear other players who played against Jordan. The worst thing you ever could have done was made him mad. I mean, the dude got a
That's
killer instinct out of this world, man.
oh
He would not
okay.
be intimidated,
No,
right?
no. You asked me a question. You asked me a
Go ahead.
question. Let me tell you.
Okay.
LeBron James. What was that guy name? Deshaun Stevenson. Deshaun Stevenson. Uh, with the Washington Wizards. He was talking trash about LeBron James before the game,
He played for
and
Indiana.
uh,
Remember?
and
Yeah.
and LeBron James went out there, showed up, and showed out. Deshaun Stevenson.
Well, hold on. Now you know that
And
was an ongoing feud with him and Stevenson. You remember when the Stevenson played for Indianapolis?
no, no, you talking about? Hold on, hold on. Let me get the name right. Let me get the name. You talking about Lance Stevenson? You talking
Yeah,
about?
right,
You
right.
talking about Lance?
He used to
Hold on, let me
throw.
get the name right.
He
It was
used
another
to have.
dude with
He
the
used to have
Wizards.
LeBron frustrated. Now LeBron's still my guy, but he used to have LeBron frustrated.
Yeah, but if you look at the frustration, if we go look at how frustrated LeBron was during that game, his frustration was damn near a triple double. I promise you. Everybody always say, "Hey man, Iguodala had LeBron frustrated. He had him frustrated." And then we go look at the numbers. The nigga had averaged a triple double.
Oh no, man! I done seen LeBron on the sideline chewing, nibbling them fingernails. Listen and listen. Hey, bro, let's just keep it treetop tall, bro. We got to keep it treetop. When it comes to just a warrior, I'm talking about an absolute menace on that court. When it comes to the ball game, you can't take that from Jordan. That ball was on the floor with the flu. He was on the floor with the flu, weak, barely could walk, and wanted the ball in his hands for the championship, man.
See,
Who
and
you
that's my
know?
point. And that's my point. Y'all judging Jordan off the GOAT, off of style points, off of him being
How?
smooth and having swag
No.
and, and doing all this cinematic. I'm sick during the game and I'm gonna go to baseball so people could really want me to come back. Doing all this dramatic, cinematic shit. Like, listen, man, I'm looking at this thing without the emotions and I'm looking at this thing without I ain't saying nobody got emotions, but there's a certain sentimental value that older heads got with Michael Jordan and saying he the GOAT, right?
Listen to
There's a
me.
certain sentimental value, and I'm not too much of an older head. I was born in 1983. I still at my mom's house right now. I still got old Chicago Bulls versus Phoenix Suns finals tapes, game one. I still got I was 10, 11 years old recording that shit, rooting against Michael Jordan. So
Listen, man.
I'm a middle old
Style,
head. I ain't an old head. I'm a middle old head. You feel me?
listen, listen
But
to
go
me.
ahead.
Style has nothing to do with having the flu, when you haven't slept all night, having to get IV weak. You've had the flu before. You know how weak your body are, your legs like jello. You just on and move. Come on, man. You seen the performance? Epic. Listen.
Against who?
Say
No,
this.
no. Against who? Who was guarding Michael Jordan during those two finals? I'm gonna tell you who. Little
Russell.
John Stockton sometimes, Jeff Hornacek, and Byron Russell.
Huh?
And
Wait a
Google
minute.
and the people listening. I want the people listening to Google. Was Byron Russell ever a first team or second team defensive player? He was never a first or second team defensive player. LeBron James with a barbecue chicken, sweet and sour rice. Byron Russell. You hear me?
Man, listen, bro.
Dead bird, tall grass.
Listen.
Stop playing with me.
No, man. Listen, broski. You gotta,
And
man.
that's Jordan's competition, and that's his competition for 2 rings.
Utah wasn't no joke. Utah
Man,
serious.
Karl Malone and John Stockton wasn't no joke.
Huh? John Stockton
Karl
was.
Malone and John Stockton wasn't no joke.
Oh, come on, man. John Stockton was one of the top point guards during that time.
And if
Very
we really want to be, and if we really want to be honest, I was a Gary Payton fan. I had the Gary Payton glove shoes. I had the gloves, the vintage gloves, and the original gloves. I was a fan. But the Seattle, if we being honest from a basketball standpoint, the Seattle SuperSonics, they overachieved that year. If we
Oh
being
my
honest.
goodness,
If
bro.
we being honest, the Seattle SuperSonics overachieved that year. They had no business being in the finals.
No, man. I can't believe you disrespecting the Sonic like that,
I'm
man.
just saying, man. If we being honest,
Man, they had McMillan. They even had the young rookie Lewis. They had Shrimp. Um
they ain't have Rashard Lewis. That was way before Rashard. Way.
he was a
No,
rookie.
Rashard was in high school during. Rashard Lewis was in high school during that time.
I'm gonna have to go look because I remember one year Rashard Lewis was a rookie on one of those teams. But
Uh-uh.
I mean, but still, they had that boy Hawkins. It's another guy that's an NBA coach right now. He was deadly from the three. You had the white guy Shrimp.
Deadlift Shrimp, Sam Perkins. Who else they have?
Sean Kemp, one of the most
Deadlift Shrimp.
dominant power forwards to play in the NBA. What are you talking about? The glove being everything. Man, how you gonna say that? Man, Seattle.
They overachieved that year, bro.
Oh,
Cause they never really outside of that year. You know how I know they overachieved? Because outside of that year, they really never really went that far
yes, they
in the.
did. Yes, they did. They were
They
good
really
for.
never went that far. You know.
Yeah, they were good for some years. Matter of fact, the Seattle
They
SuperSonics was
wasn't great. They
coming out.
wasn't great though.
Yeah. Yes, they were. The years that Sean Kemp and Gary Payton were at Seattle, they were great. Man, I could tell you a countless number of man. Seattle was one of the teams to play. Yeah,
And
man.
Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp was my dog. He was my dog. He could jump out the gym. But Sean Kemp, he ain't really like have a bag. He ain't really have a bag like that.
No,
He
man.
really ain't have a bag like that. Fadeaways, lean. You know what I mean? He really ain't have a bag like that, man.
No,
If
man.
we being honest.
Tripping, man. You tripping on
If
you
we being
tripping.
honest.
Sean Kemp, one of the best power forwards to play the game, bro.
He used to fly over niggas though, man. That nigga used to dunk over everybody. He used to just dunk. He used
He
to
had,
dunk on people.
he had a nice little mid-range shot too. He a hit.
He had a mid range, and he used it. He used his height. I mean, he used his athleticism, but he didn't have a bag. He didn't have a Hall of Fame bag like Tim Duncan had a bag.
I think
Right? He had 100 moves.
he hasn't made it to the Hall of Fame yet. He will.
I
Him and
don't
Gary
know.
gonna make it. They will. They will, man. But no, man. I see what you doing, man. You just sleeping on old school hoops. Period. Yeah, I think you just like this
No,
generational ball. And
no.
besides LeBron, let me see. Besides LeBron, Draymond Green, they have some little youngsters that I think could have played back then. But a lot of these little youngsters that play now, they wouldn't have made it back then. Because when you went through that lane, boy, you had to be tough. They these little new coming ball players, they ain't got that hard of a line like AI had, like little J.R. Ryder, like a lot of these players had, man, killer instincts like Kobe. Come on, man, D Wade. Nah, man, these new youngsters want to run around picks and nah, man, nah, bro. That was a whole different level kind of basketball back then, broski. Come on now. But hey, I just think Jordan on the court, if I had to choose, in for a win, I'm going with straight up. That boy get to chewing that gum and his tongue get to hanging out his mouth, and you piss him off, he gonna win by any means necessary, and that's just straight like that. Then after that, Kobe had that kind of instinct as well, you know. But I still respect LeBron though. You feel me? But what else going on, man? What's up with you, PO? Shout out to any listeners that's listening, man. I can't see who all listening, but salute to everybody in the building. Salute.
Yeah, man. I had to get something real quick, but
What else we
I
got
heard
going
most of
on, man?
yeah, yeah. Let me play something real quick while we move on to the Nets.
Let's go.
Have you ever been a rich nigga? Nah, not me. I got just enough to tell myself God got me. Chose to take a leap of faith instead of living on the edge. Find comfort knowing God gon' come through in the end. It keep me humble, keep me grounded even when I stumble. Keep me human knowing I need help whenever I'm in trouble. But I'll confess, want shit to change. Want the 88 Benz with grain switching lanes. Pick up every tab, flying first class on planes. Give my family shit they never had. Buy my wife her first Chanel bag. She think I'm next to be a rich nigga. I believe her biggest fear is I get rich and feel like I no longer need you. I'm scared I won't recognize my blessings. Stop living life within abundance. Tighten my grip on all of my possessions. Should it come with that? The bottom of the fall is that with everything I got, I don't get back to none of y'all. Due to my ambitions, I face contradictions. Maybe I'm just tripping. Lately I've been feeling I want everything to change, but want everything to stay the same. Started with a vision, but it met conditions. God gave me the wisdom to make good decisions, cause I'm welcoming the change. Just hope the best of me can still remain.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to Coast Nostra. I mean, Coast Contra. I mean, Coast Contra. Lyrical rap. Uh, hey, follow me on Death Before Bondage on YouTube or Death Before Bondage on Facebook, Instagram, uh, Twitter, and follow me on YouTube, Death Before Bondage, D4B SME, Sports Media Entertainment. Uh, so, so. Now let's talk about Shannon Sharp, bro. Your boy Shannon, man. Yeah. So we told him about the snow bunnies, and he did what he wanted to do. I love my uncle. I love my uncle Shay Shay. Love who you want to love. Love who you want to love. But in America, there are certain historical precedents that has been set. You know, uh, my mom, my God bless my mama. She's still alive. Don't got no racist bone in her body. But I remember she even used to tell me, "Hey, stay away from them. Stay away from them girls because if they say you did something, then they're gonna throw you. Then they're gonna throw you under the jail." That's just something that we just been taught when we was younger. So it's very unfortunate. I believe that when a man does something, when he does a SA, when he does a SA, he should be thrown in jail and he should be uh you know given the highest consequences of the law, in my opinion, if I was to write the book. But far as this whole campaign on I'm a sue a black man or I'm gonna get a black man in jail for him doing something within the confines of the relationship, that's something that we got to eradicate, man. I don't think you should. They should change it to where you don't have you can't give a person a civil suit for action. When Jay-Z had that case a couple of months ago, a criminal suit. I mean, y'all should file criminal charges against me. Y'all shouldn't want my money, you know? And that made sense to me. How you feel about it, Dick One? BB225.
Well,
How you feel about it?
just, just let me say this, man. Everybody knows it's a money grab, right? It's unfortunate that women play these kind of games, try to take advantage of guys. When mad they come, they get mad and they want to get the bag, right? And they try to get this money. But with that being said, he bought that on himself. And that's what happened, and that's what he get. And all of these brothers out here, man. Uh, and that's why I respect LeBron so to the fullest because uh, he with his A1 from day one, and he with the girl who loved him when he didn't have anything. When he come from high school practice, his feet stank. He funky as bow hall. Uh, that woman who was by his side in high school, that's who he's still with today. You understand now? For as how he get on behind closed doors or whatever, nobody know. But all of these Negroes that go out here and they get these millions of dollars and want to put these white women under their arm, I don't feel sorry for them. You know, that's what happened. You play with fire, you get burned, right? So at the end of the day, he bought his own himself, and it's just unfortunate. And when are we as black men gonna learn? We see him with Bill Cosby. We see all the time. We go and you get with these white women, and what wind up happening. You know what I'm saying? And just to be honest, women, period, start taking more of, finding more value, man. Stop thinking with the wrong head, man. Discipline yourself and find a woman with some substance and a woman with some value, man. And stop getting yourself caught up in these. We gotta stop. We gotta learn to get control of our flesh. So he bought that on himself, man. He bought that on himself, man. You know. Um, I don't. I hate that it happened to him, but at the same time, take your lick. Take your lick, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And pay attention, y'all. Pay attention. So on one end, they making sure they give all the rappers Ricos. They giving they giving a young black man the Ricos, and they going for the older black man for the Me Too, the Me Too indictments. You know, where they really not proving anything. They just got a whole bunch of evidence, and they saying, well, you sex trafficking and all this or whatever, whatever. But the sex trafficking thing that goes back to Jack Brown, the boxer. Was that his name? Let me Google that real quick. Jack Brown.
It's the same thing that's been going on with it. This, I mean, things are more intensified. Put the spotlight on the black man and try to make the black man look bad as you can. I mean, everybody's doing it. Ain't nobody more freakazoid than the white man. The white man go out of town on business trips and he play all kind of games on behind his wife back, dealing with having these kind of rendezvous with women and stuff. But it's all about exploiting them black men, and they're gonna get every penny out of you can in any way they can. So, and because just look at the timing, right before he was about to get $100 million deal with ESPN, that's when this come down. So
Yep.
he got caught slipping, bro. He got caught slipping, man.
Yeah. I meant Jack Johnson. Jack
Women.
Johnson. Yeah. I meant Jack Johnson. You know, they basically hitting brothers with the Man Act. You know what I mean? Doing all this crazy stuff, man. They
Right.
moved the goalposts. They basically moved the goalposts for the black people, for the rich black people. Let me see this one picture, man, real quick. Let me find this one picture. I had to block out homeboy that had the island and went to jail and did that to himself, whatever. Had to block him out. But all of these people, for my 231 listeners, all of these people on this picture right here, allegedly, they could have some bad issues with the Alphabet Boys too. But for some reason, the Alphabet Boys don't go for these people, but they go for the Puff Daddies, Wiz Khalifa's. I ain't gonna throw R. Kelly in there. Jay-Z's and the Shannon Sharps, right? I know some people mad about that one, but no, but for real, none of these people have been indicted. Kevin Spacey, he probably the only one that actually had some type of repercussions, consequences. He really not in Hollywood no more because he liked to play with the little boys. Like to play with the little boys. Yes. So I'm just showing the hypocrisy of what we doing, where we at right now. They're giving the young boys the Ricos and they're giving the old boys the Me Too Man Acts. Same ones they gave Jack Johnson to, you know, suing them or they sending them to jail like old P Diddy. I think P Diddy might be done for, but that's another topic for another day, man. You got anything else to say on the Shannon Sharp topic, big boy?
No, sorry. No.
All right, we can move on to Wallo, man.
Oh my goodness. Wallo. Oh my goodness. Wallo. Biscuit eating
Let's see what he
time,
said.
huh?
Let's see what he said, though, man. You know, I like Wallo, but when you say off cold stuff, we got to call you out.
Nobody gives a fuck about that. Kill that shit. Now. You got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material of your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the people. No, I support consistency, baby. Yeah. Fuck about what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them bills where the fuck I want to spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do while I'm here. But I'm going to tell you one thing, I ain't going to be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucking fake-ass motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the #1 nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions, and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto. Us. Oh, I'm black. No black people. Nobody gives a fuck.
Well. What you got to say about that? And then I'll go after you.
Man, listen. I'm gonna say like this. There is an aspect of accountability that we must hold amongst each other as black people, right? We do have to insist and demand for good quality service and good quality product. There are issues that we do have to deal with in society, in the black community, where we be reliable and do good business. I won't knock that at all. But for number one, his energy, how he was saying that, it just didn't feel right. I didn't feel his vibe. And then certain things that he said specifically made me get a Yassa Massa tap dancing, we sick boss vibe. Just to be honest, just in my personal opinion. Us holding each other accountable, yes. And what I hate about it, him putting a magnifying, as a black man, putting a magnifying glass on the black community, knowing that this is something that happens across the board. Not only do black people have to be held accountable, all business owners need to be held accountable. Asians, Arabic, Indian, and even white. Because I'm sure we could get some horrible quality service from each one of those. And I'm sure in each collective city that any of us listening have had horrible service that happened from people. I've been in the corner stores and Asian people give horrible service. Arabs. I see Arabs all the time messing over our people, selling them outdated stuff at the bodegas in the corner stores. So I mean, it should have been across the board. I get it. We gotta hold each other accountable, but I just don't like his energy and how he expressed that, man. You know, to me, it wasn't about no uplifting or inspiring. Uh, I didn't feel his vibe at all.
You think it was? You think it was like more like cloud chasing?
Uh, I wouldn't say cloud chasing. I don't see what reason he would have a cloud chase. I just, I think that's how he feel. I think that's how he feel, and it's kind of hard for me to say that because I have heard some things that he's done in Philadelphia when they got that $100 million deal. That they took some millions and gave back to black business owners in the city of Philadelphia. So I know that that's in him, but sometimes we forget where we come from. You know, that has a tendency to happen at times. Um, I think I heard him in an interview saying they were up for another deal. So I don't know if it's some tap dancing. I don't know, man. He could have been Yassa Massa, trying to renew their contract to get another $100 million deal or even more. It could be different nuances.
Like, why
Um,
would you use? Like, why would you use your platform, even if what you're saying is true, right? I ain't even gonna get into the validity of what he's saying.
mhm.
Why would you use your platform to shit on to take that time to shit on black businesses? Yes, I do want quality out of my people, but and what really pissed me off about what he did, and I ain't see the whole clip. I saw this clip and I saw a couple more clips, so I don't know if he might have did it. He could have done it, but you also, it's your responsibility to give some type of historical preference on why black businesses is important in the first place. Why, okay, you're criticizing it, but also make sure you give the historical preference all the way to the present preference of why it is important to go black on businesses, because we was cut, uh, economic deprivation was afflicted on our people. This is not something that we wanted. This is not something that we asked for. So we are reacting to what has happened to us. So when you use your platform to go at us and you don't add no real historical preference to it, to let us know, don't just tell me the effect. I need to know the cause too, Wallo. If you're gonna be bold enough to say that, don't just hang on the effect. Let me know the cause. Then we can get on the effect and have at it. So you got a certain responsibility in that case. He would probably say, I don't got a responsibility. I don't know. But
Well,
that's my whole thing.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you gave some good clarity with that. And just to hope I'm not giving bad context of what happened. I think he was speaking as a motivational speaker, maybe to black business owners or something, because I know he's a paid motivational speaker. So if I'm not mistaken, I may be out of context for what I'm saying.
Yeah, so we could have the context all wrong, but at the end of the day, he doubled down on it also, saying some stuff about Tariq Nasheed. Him and Tariq Nasheed had a couple of I think a couple words back on Twitter or whatever. But
okay.
So I don't know.
What was Tariq Nasheed's perspective? I hadn't had a chance to listen to that yet. What was Tariq Nasheed with what he saw?
He might have been on. I can't remember verbatim, but he might have been on some he was on some clout chasing. The Charleston White syndrome, where you just say something anti something so you can go viral. I hope I'm not missing.
I'll be honest. I don't. It could be. I don't really. I've never seen that in Wallo. The things I'm thinking is, I know he got it's time to renew his contract. It's time for him to become free agents again. And listen, man, because he sounded passionate, man. Sometimes, it's unfortunate we got a lot of black people that feel that way, though, man. Like they don't see color, and he said it specifically. Screw a color. It's about who got good business, good service. So maybe he don't have that. Have that same will that maybe you and I will have, or others will have, to understand the need and the importance of black business, black entrepreneurship, and black business.
And that's exactly why he shouldn't be making a bold statement like that if he really hasn't done the research. It always goes back, even when we talk about people being tethers and all that. It always goes back to just getting the information, right? It just goes back to So when you say black owned businesses, also talk about how our people are consumer slaves, and we preyed on by all these different demographics. The Chaldean and the Arabic man, we go to him for groceries because it's a damn food apartheid in the black community, right? We go to the Arabic man for the banks, and when we got a talent in rap or acting or something, or if we athletes, we go to the Jewish man, right? We go to the Asian man for our hair products, our women. They go to the Asian man. They give him his little billions, right? And the white man tax everybody. So you got to go in depth, man. You just can't be on that Charleston White syndrome stuff where you just blurt stuff out loud. And I'm not gonna. And I don't want to get to the. Hold on, I'm almost done. I'm not gonna get to the point where it's like what he was saying was just so stupid or ridiculous. But you got to be on code at the end of the day. Go ahead, brother.
So you hitting where I'm going. I'm not that what he was saying is no validity to what he said, because I do think we do have to push the importance and the awareness in black entrepreneurship that you have to have a character, you have to have morale, you have to have all of these things. You have to practice good business. You understand? But it's just his energy, how he released that into the atmosphere. I just don't think it's going to be accepted like it should be. It came across to me on some. I started damn near blacked out and got to thinking about Samuel Jackson on the Django. His energy, bro. Feel me? But I do that we must have our people aware that we have to do good business. Anybody and anyone listening to us, if you're doing business, if you plan to do business, how you continue to keep business is providing good quality product and good quality service. You can't expect nobody to want to spend money with you and deal with you if you're not giving them good product for number one, and if you're not giving them good service. And that's just bottom line. That's just a standard that we have to set for ourselves as Black people in the Black community. And we should hold everyone, and that's what I was talking about earlier. We should hold everyone accountable for that standard. Because I don't like going into some of my wife will tell you, I bumped head with a few of these foreigners in our neighborhood that I've seen treating our people like they a $5 junkie. You know, just go in some of these corner stores in your local neighborhood and see how some of these Arabs, some of these Indians, and some of these Asians deal with our people when it comes to business. They're not giving them,
man.
Yeah, they're not giving them. And I know this as an entrepreneur myself, right? Because when I've gone and opened accounts in different businesses, me as a Black man going in there, and I go with my shirt with my logo on it, have all my credentials and everything that I need to show that I'm a business barcode, everything. Everything is where it's supposed to be. They always try to deal with me because I'm a Black man, like I'm a nigga off the street that's coming to sell a hot cell phone or something. Or I got something hot that I'm coming to sell you. But no, man, this is a legitimate business. But when the Budweiser salesman come in there, or the Coca-Cola salesman come in there, you know, a white boy come in there representing Golden Flake or Ruffles, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different energy. So we gotta demand that consistency across the board. Don't flip out like that wallo just on Black people, bro.
Yeah, because I've been to some shanty ass Asian joints, and hell,
Yeah.
I stay in the suburbs, and I stay across the street from a Asian joint. You go in there, it's dirt all on the goddamn, and it's, you know, I also go to one that's clean, but this particular one is, you know what I mean, like, you don't want to eat in there, but the, but this place been open for the last 20 years, like down there a landmark over here, you know. So I don't want to, you know, point out everybody. And more of the story, make sure you add context to something. I remember when Wendy Williams said some snazzy biscuit eating stuff too years ago, where she was saying something about why does HBCUs exist, and foundational Black Americans and Black Twitter had to get at her and pull up on her on social media. So she retracted her statements and said, well, because people was telling her, well, the reason why we have HBCUs is because we was cut out, right? People always want to critique us and slander Black Americans of how we react to slander and white supremacy, how we react to something. You know what I mean? Even some of these biscuit eaters do it. You know what I mean? So it's just about adding context to it.
Right. I'm sure she was intelligent enough to know better, man. She was tap dancing.
Mm-hmm. She was tap dancing so hard, her masters was like, "Hey, you doing you tap dancing a little too hard. They gonna know you, you know." And Wendy Williams, she not doing good right now. She's sick, so I hope she get better. I don't wish anything ill on her, even though she spent most of her career slandering and disrespecting people. I don't wish no ill on her. I hope she get better.
Before we move forward, this is my last and only question I have in reference to this topic. How do you personally think that the Hewish, I'm gonna say Hewish, small hats, and our Caucasian brothers feel about Wallo's performance? Just imagine those people, Barstool or some of those people. I think he got that $100 million deal with Barstool or some of these other corporations out here.
Good point.
And these
Good point.
endorsements. How do you think they feel about hearing that snippet, hearing that reel that you just played?
They're gonna give him a.
Think that'll raise their stock? That you don't think that's going to raise their stock? Huh? That's why I say I heard him on the Breakfast Club, not the Breakfast Club.
Uncle Shay.
It was either Uncle Shay or was he had just recently did one with Noriega and the DJ from Miami. What it's called? Would it be drinking alcohol? What's the name of that podcast that Noriega has?
Drink Champs.
Drink Champs. Yeah. He one of those I heard him and he was speaking about how the contract was about up. So they're about to be going into another contract. You know, the one that $100 million deal contract is up. So yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if that would be the case, if that's the case or not. That's just me speaking what if, okay? Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go on to the next one. Let me play a video real quick, real slick.
Let's get it. Let's go. Shout out to everybody in the building.
300 listeners. Shout out to the 300 listeners. We appreciate y'all. Furious Big Boy.
Yes, sir.
Black Masterminds Podcast, baby.
Yes, sir.
Martin and Malcolm X, most of our people have a messiah complex. We keep waiting for someone to be our savior, so we're more susceptible to unethical behavior. False prophets that profit are bad juju. False optics, our only option is YouTube. Sponsored ads selling you conscious trash that I expose. Go and console your sad guru. The mask you use is split. What's cracking? I weave between the lines and read behind the captions. Up and coming artists don't know the weight of their actions, so they portray murder and violence to get some traction. It's a distraction. The government can't sustain us. We accept the values of the people that used to hang us. This is what happens when you glorify trapping and you worship athletes, actors, and entertainers. We used to want money, now we want to be famous. Blue checks on blue checks, just look how bad they framed us. Jezebel, Mammy, Andy, and Amos give a pass to every other community that ain't us. It ain't much, but the consequences are dire. Entire budgets are spent to inspire lower desires. You can't have buyers without suppliers. Make Sam scream uncle, he chuckles when you perspire.
Yo. One more.
Yes, sir. Are you there, my boy?
Where the spirit that has been implanted in us, we have taken to be us, and we've identified with it. That is why in defending ourselves, we end up defending the people who rule over us. In defending our ego, we end up maintaining the social structure that has destroyed our ego to begin with. And you see it in our youngsters, who will fight and kill in the name of respect. And fight because their egotistic orientation has been insulted. And therefore, in defending their ego, they do not kill the people who destroy their ego. They kill each other. And maintain the one who destroyed them in the first place in power.
Yo. So part of Black Masterminds is giving respect to Black Masterminds, and that's Dr. Amos Wilson. I think he died in 1995, and yeah, he talked about how there was a certain virus in us mentally and spiritually because of where we have been and where our minds is. Just the fact that you are able to harm another brother that looks like you is a sickness, man. Or harm another sister that looks like you, or disrespect your sister, disrespect your brother. Like, my I shouldn't have to tell my mama what gas stations to go to at nighttime because somebody gonna knock her over the head for her car. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I call this culture that is turning into Pookie and Ray Ray culture. This is Pookie. It's turning to Pookie and Ray Ray culture. I watch ID channel and crime stuff all day, and I see these young brothers throw their whole lives away because this guy says something on a diss song, or this guy saying something on a Facebook comment, or this guy lives over here and I live over here, and our young brothers, we got a whole generation of young brothers rotting in prison because of this Pookie and Ray Ray culture, and all we do is glamorize it. All we do is glamorize bull crap, right? And I'm not immune to some of the stuff that I'm saying right now. I'm not even immune to some of the stuff that I'm saying. On one end, we tell our young boys, hey, you know, get you a nice wife and do this right and the third, but we don't got what we saying. Or we tell them, uh, do stuff this way and do stuff that way, but we ain't doing it the right way. Like the young boys the young generation see our hypocrisy, right? We not living what we saying, you know? How you feel about that, big boy?
Well, let me give an example of what you mean when you say we're glorifying this foolishness. Uh, I'm pissed off right now, and I'm pissed off with a lot of people, a lot of podcasters that I watch on YouTube. Uh, and we just become attention whores for attention and the things that we find exciting, the things that we bank on. Back during my time, we say bank on, bet on, that we stamp as official. Let me say it like that. Things that we stamp as official. It's so unofficial, actually. It's so fake and so unreal and out of reality. And it does come from a condition. And the condition, you call it the Pookie and Ray Ray condition, but it was something that was designed psychologically. I always tell people about psychological manipulation and how it was studied and practiced on the people and been passed down from generation to generation. But the example I want to give is what we're seeing happening right now with social media and what's happening with LeBron and his wife. We got a nigga.
Mm.
We got a nigga. And I hate to sound repetitive, like Kevin Gates from my city, who I've always had love for and respect, but he lost my respect on this childish, immature, attention horror seeking that he's doing right now, right? For him to call out a man, you know what I'm saying, to do what he did with LeBron, disrespect LeBron's wife like that over his mere opinion. But where I'm really pissed off about it, these podcasters, people who I had great respect for, like a Ticket TV, Kwame Brown, just to mention names, and a few others. And I support, these are brothers that I support, but to hear them glorify and down talking, oh man, see, LeBron ain't do what he did with Stephen Smith to Kevin Gates because, see, he know Kevin Gates about that life and live that life. We have normalized a bunch of fucking debauchery, man. Till we got a man who's trying to have some class, trying to set standards, trying to set example for his sons, because he knew his sons is probably paying attention to that. And he's being a bigger man, and to have some adult, mature, and all of these men that I'm mentioning that had these podcasts are very intelligent, but yet and still you'll get so petty and excited to push up some goddamn foolishness of this child instead of calling Gates out for his behavior and saying, Gates, why would you disrespect that man's wife like that?
Exactly.
You
Like
know,
you could hate on LeBron. You could hate on LeBron another time. Why would you pick this time? Like it just
yeah,
showed.
call the man wife, and then say that
Yeah,
his wife, uh, uh he should, the way white women look at him is the way he should. Like, come on, and we entertaining that. We all should be feeling like how you and I are feeling at this point. Like, come on, Gates, you tripping, bro. You tripping, brother. Why you gonna disrespect this man's wife like that, man? That woman haven't done nothing to nobody but be a husband to LeBron and a mother to her children. But it's been passed down from generation to generation. Down, you know, you call it the pookie Ray Ray, but you know, this just it's been passed down, man. And it's just
yeah,
another
man.
aspect and another part of dysfunctionalism that we deal with in our community. And it's always us. It's most of the time it's us. Not saying that
That's a
other communities don't have dysfunctionalism, but it's gonna always be us with the spotlight. We glorify bullcrap. I was looking at the video you was just playing before, and they even making cartoons about it with two women fighting, and you got cell phones all around them. To the point where our women have taken on the spirit of a man. What that beast said, I beat that H up. I beat that H up. And we got our sisters up there ripping the clothes up. And what we doing as men? We sitting there laughing and wanting to see it.
and holding the camera up on the cartoon. He holding the camera up. Look, when
Yeah,
I was in when I was in school, when I was in middle school, I didn't let women fight in front of me. Right? When two women was fighting in front of me, it was a couple of times where I grabbed one, somebody else would grab another one. Now you got grown tail Negroes holding their phone up. I remember I saw two women fighting at a club in Miami, and it was a big cock diesel. I lift 1,000 pounds as a nigga holding the camera. I'm like, bro. Now some
yeah.
people would say, now some people would say, no, some people would say, look, I ain't about to get killed for
that what I was
no. I
that what
ain't
I was
about to
about.
get killed for nobody. I ain't about to step in there and stop
Yeah,
nobody from fighting. You feel
that's
me?
all.
I,
And then
it is a different game
you
now.
thrown
It
on for
is a
breaking
different
it up.
game now.
You get thrown on for breaking it up. A nigga come out and swipe you off of your feet all because you trying to break it up. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Somebody
different game now.
got nothing to do with nothing. Go out there and try to break it up. And somebody that comes still on you for trying to break it up. You know, these youngsters, they dangerous, man. So it's hard to even help. You know, it's best to just get out the way and go about your business.
Yeah, it's crazy out here, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy out here.
yeah.
But I represent foundational Black American culture, and foundational Black American culture is a rich culture, a specific culture that cultivated cultivated and grown most of the culture we have here in America, most of the inventions, most of the technology, most of the medical advancements. Our people, I'm part of FBA culture. I ain't part of Pookie Ray Ray culture. I'm part of FBA culture. I'm part of the people that came there on them boats. 10 million died on the Middle Passage picking cotton, tobacco. We made America a powerhouse. We was enslaved, promised our 40 acres and a mule. We didn't get that. Jim Crow, 4,000, 4,000 unalived on trees, 100 towns burnt down, black codes, you know, Emmett Till, Gator Bait, all that, yada, yada. Fast forward, white flight, redlining, the Bay of Pigs, Contra, give our community guns, dope. Um, Black Panthers is a threat to the community. Okay, then Bloods and Crips came in first. first they came in on some positive stuff, but then it molded over to what it is because of crackheads and capitalism. Fast forward to right now. Here
Well,
we are. Just a little rant, you know,
you know,
little history lesson for the millennials back there. You
well,
know,
you know what I think need to happen, man. My hope will be what happened is that we can create a society. When I say a society, a group, a community of like-minded black people, and that we just sit at the table, sit at the round table, and reevaluate the type of standards that we're setting for ourselves in society today. Is black folks, bro, because we've taken on this mentality where there's no, to me, I'm just not satisfied or pleased with the moral compass. And I'm not saying this as saying it's trying to be high minded, because I once was in a low frequency myself as an individual. But as we get older, we learn better and we do better, right? And we supposed to prepare ourselves to teach the young so they won't make the mistakes that we made. But how are we doing that? It don't appear that we're doing a good job at doing that, right? And I think in society we always too busy working so hard, or whatever the reason is, we focusing on our own. But we really got to sit down and reevaluate the type of moral standards that we have for our community, for ourselves as a people, man. Because the things we see in glorified today, the things that we're seeing that is okay today in society, we just go along to get along. We just follow the leader, go with the wave. You understand? We got young men and women glorifying infidelity. You know, you got dudes in music, and it's become a way of life where people. It's nothing for someone to go and be with somebody else's wife. You know, you hear dudes put it in their music all day long. Oh, you mad because your girl is giving me head? You know what I'm saying? While you at work, I'm buying your girl out from the back. This is the mentality that we have normalized these type of behaviors, right? And these are the things we're seeing going on. That's why you're calling it a pookie and Ray Ray generation, because all we see happening being represented, unfortunately, in a lot of our communities, not all, because we do have people that still have morale, but in a lot of what we see and what's being highlighted is the immoral things that's going on in our communities, the infidelity, the idolatry, the jealousy and envy, anything for attention. Man, I go through TikTok sometimes and just get disgusted. And it don't even have to go as deep as what I'm saying about somebody sleeping with somebody else's wife. Just to the point now, you can go in there and see people just eating food like dogs, like beyond gluttony at this point. And they don't be overweight, obese people. Some of them be skinny people, and they, get bog crabs, or they got something. You can hear them smacking and slobbing. Like, man, we obsessing over everything, man. So I just think we need to slow down, slow this thing down, man. Sit at the round table, and man, and reevaluate ourselves and start setting some better standards and morals. Because, man, if things could continue the way they are, man, we done, son. Stick a fork in us. We done. We can't continue with the type of behavior we see and being we already going to prison in the fucking graveyard at a high rate right now. So if we don't make some changes on how we see things and what kind of standards we gonna set, bro, we done, bro. And sometimes I get discouraged and feel like we done, son. You know my saying, P.O. Furious.
we
Sometimes
ain't,
I feel like
we
we
ain't
done.
done. You know why we ain't? You know why we ain't done?
Mm-hmm. Come on with it.
We ain't done because we are one movement or one invention away from getting back in our natural position. Just look at just look at where our oppressors came from and where they at right now. You feel what I'm saying? If if they didn't get together with the Asians to create that, and this is my personal opinion, if they didn't get
Uh-huh.
together, if they didn't get together with the Asians to create that gun, to create that gun because they had to find a way to take out the original man because they
Uh-huh.
couldn't do it through combat, right? That's why
Right.
they that's why they that's why when you see King Arthur and all them, they had the shields and all that metal stuff on them because they was weak as they was cowards. They
Right.
needed shields and stuff over
Bring
their
it out.
body. You see what I'm
Bring
saying?
it out. But that's why you
They
run
was
the
cowards. We
you run
ain't
the
need shields. All we needed was our athleticism in the sun. You feel me?
get that
And
good
our wife, whatever, whatever. But and
right.
I'm just simplifying it I'm just simplifying it. But
Yeah, you on
so
point, bro.
they was cowards. That's why they had all that metal stuff on. And because my wife had asked me the other day, why is unification so important? I said because we are one invention away. If we can get together one day and come up with another invention, you know, that's why they try to separate us, and that's why you see in Africa, and you always see a black man done created uh, how to start up a car with water, or how to light up a whole city off of air gas or something. You feel me? Because you know what I mean? That's why they
Yeah.
try to suppress our inventions, because we always one invention away from getting back on top. But
Right.
white supremacy has such a lock on Africa. They got such a lock on what we do with our collective property, as far as our creativity and our imagination, that they would never allow that. That's why unification is so
Important.
yeah, unification is so important, man. In every demographic, right? In every demographic,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see in rap, when Kanye was going through what he was going through, if everybody would have unified around Kanye just off the principle of business practices and staying unified with an artist, they
Mm-hmm.
could have never railroad Kanye. If
Right.
everybody would have unified behind Kyrie Irving when he was going through what he was going through, if all the basketball players, black basketball players, would have unified behind Kyrie Irving, they couldn't have railroaded him. If,
Right.
if, if all the black players in football would have got behind Colin Kaepernick, they couldn't have railroaded him.
Right.
Right? Angie Stone. Right now, Angie Stone just got on the live. Unfortunately, rest in peace. Some people saying that it's a little suspicious that she was just talking about getting her master's and now this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if we unify, these things can't happen. But we refuse to unify.
Yeah.
In every demographic, from artists, athletes, rappers, politicians. But it is what it is.
But you know why we refuse to unify? Because of the psychological manipulation. And that's why sometimes
Pookie and Ray Ray culture.
so
No, go ahead, my bad.
yeah, well, a lot of times you saying it's the Pookie Ray way, but we've been psychologically manipulated. Um, I've been living long enough since I'm a little older than you. I got about 10 years on you or more. Uh, a lot of the characteristics and things I see that we take on now is what I saw back in the '80s, back when Kiss and Deep Purple, and Led Zeppelin, all of this heavy metal stuff was out, and a lot of things that I see and the values I see that's happening in our community as a norm now, it was the norm in that community then. And not saying that we was perfect. I mean, we still had our issues in our community. You understand what I mean? We still had things we were fighting against, but there was a certain morale we had, certain things that just that I see now that's a norm to us. It just wasn't a norm at that time. I just seen what the roles have switched, and that's why I say all the time that most of us, a lot of us, I ain't gonna say most of us because you have to do a study to have a, a, a base of number, but a lot of us have a European mindset, a European way of thinking. A lot of us, we don't want to unplug ourselves from the matrix or unplug ourselves from the how things are in society now and connect to our roots. a lot of us don't have a problem with walking away from the roots that we come from, or searching or having a desire to connect with who we are, where we come from. And us, we seek to connect back to what was taken from us. Our identity was taken from us. And once they took our identity from us, they put everything in us they wanted us to have and know. And then once after that, then they did not give us our identity back after slavery. What happened then is we had to become uh, programmed how they're programmed. That's why we think like them, because we don't know how to. A lot of us don't know how to connect back to our original origin of who we are, because they stripped that from us when our ancestors came here in slavery. So now, coming out of slavery and being able to be educated, what are you learning by the white man's philosophy, his way of things, the standard that he set in this white supremacist world that we live in, that's guided and controlled by mostly white America, right? They set the standards, they set most of the laws and rules. We participate in it, of course, but we just program, man. So that's why I seek and yearn so to connect back to the original of who God created us to be, or who we were created to be. Something, because and that's another thing where my trust issue when it comes to white America, because I hear a lot of black folks say, "Oh, we all human. Ain't nobody saying you got some good ones and bad ones," and then we always want to run and say, "Where it's just as many bad black people as white people." I don't buy that, because overall, when I look historically, what happened, I don't think no one has done to a people what was done to us. One of the worst things you could ever do to a human being is strip them their knowledge of self.
Bring it out.
When you strip someone their knowledge of self and don't give it back to them, that's one of the most and that's why I understand when brothers like the Nation of Islam and a lot of our ancestors call them devils. It's not that we operate in hate. Sometimes you gotta call a spade a spade. For a group of people to take the knowledge of self and no one give it back. You think these people don't know who we are? You don't think somewhere down in the Vatican or somewhere, because they keep records of everything. They know our origin and who we are. But all they tell us is you come from Africa. Well, okay, we come from Africa. Africa is a big continent that have over 51 different countries on it, 50 something different countries on it. What part of Africa? What tribe? What nation? Give us some specifics of who we are so we can go back to connecting to who we are. And they won't do it. All they just tell you come from Africa. And that's why a lot of us tap dancing coons go around believing, oh, well, our own people sold us. Well, what about our own people who sold us? How do you know that I was our own people? You can't tell a Guatemalan he's the same as a Mexican. You can't tell a Puerto Rican he's the same as a Mexican. Try telling a Cuban he ain't no different than a Mexican. Because they got that light tan skin with the silky black.
You cooking though. You cooking gumbo, bro. Hey,
Hey, man, I don't go on and on this sometime, little brother.
no, you cooking gumbo.
You
But
know? But
yeah,
yeah, we gotta
yeah,
wake up, bro.
yeah, you're right though, man. I be reading the slave narratives of 1936,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I be seeing how they mindset. They was calling themselves the N word with the R with the R on it. Like our own people was calling themselves that, and to this day we still using the N word. Sometimes I even use it, so I'm not saying it like making anybody feel bad because I say it sometimes too. It's just interesting that we still. I mean, to some extent, we still the same. We still got the same mindset of our ancestors on the plantation, and we don't even know it. Yes, we drive cars and we got smartphones and cars and and ish like that, but mentally, we still the same, man. We still the same. Still the same. And that goes back to the Pookie and Ray Ray culture because they would rather hurt their brother, right? They would rather hurt their brother or their sister than even look up at the oppressor. To hell with anything, and I'm not advocating for no violence and uh nothing like that, but yeah, they wouldn't even look up at them. So it goes back to the Pookie and Ray Ray culture, right? We'd rather hurt ourselves, and that's not just the foundation of Black Americans. That goes to the some of our brothers from the Africans, from the motherland continent and the islands. We'd rather hurt ourselves than to fight back for our land, our rights, our history. You know what I mean? So that's not just going at our people either. You know, and that's not wishing no violence. That's just wishing that people to get their land back, get their money back, get their reparations. I think in Ray Ray culture, man. We go on to the next one, the last one. Make sure y'all subscribe to me, man. Death Before Bondage on YouTube. Please give me a follow. Please give me a follow. And DB4 SME. I'm about to play the video for DB4 SME, my intro video, and a music video, just to keep the stuff going, keep the stuff light, baby. Just to keep it light.
I'm not ducking. Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore.
War gonna keep going on, frustration gonna keep going on, anger gonna keep going on, till we finally go back down to the simplest word, love.
10, got 10, gotta get 100, got 100, gotta get 5, got 5, gotta get a billion. If it's cars, you never have no cars. If it's women, you never have enough. You be chasing them forever. If it's success, you can never get enough of that. I realize that it's like, it doesn't stop, it keeps calling you, and it's like, you're never satisfied. But as you place your importance on this, which is like appreciation, love, it's like that is enough.
I mean, ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people, realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust, people aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change. That's something that, this country stands for: freedom, liberty, justice for all, and it's not happening for all right now.
See, when you invest in something and you hustle and you work for something, you got a different type of attachment to it. You're going to have a cold day in hell for somebody to try to take this from you. We live by this, we die by this. We don't surrender, we don't retreat. Every man must search his own soul. I listen to that quote every morning. Love it. Stop. I'm going to die for this. I love it that much. I'm going to die for when a man meets his mission, him and his mission become one. I'm going to die for this. I love it. Shit turned me into a monster. It don't bother me. I just use it for motivation.
Timothy could have been what he wanted, but little Timmy like to hang on the corners. Damn, Timmy chose to play a persona. Damn shame, little Timmy, you're gone. Oh, Timmy Turner never had a burner, always knew I was the son of a gun. Niggas talk about it, but don't be about it soon as they see when they first wanna run. Pray for niggas that can be who they want. They live in hell like the air in their lungs. In back of their mind, they know that they front. Try to cover with the money and stunt. Y'all doing too much. Enough is enough. Niggas watching too much show on the bluff. Gassing you up until they pull up and then let it and dump about 10 off the pump. Hope the guy that die as rich as a bum. That make change every day for the ones that give a fuck about the people in slums. Cause first you'll be last and last you'll be one. Keeping it blunt. Promise you niggas we weeding you out. The smoke you don't want. You know in your guts. All of your music is trash. Allow me to empty the Dutch. My nigga, what up? I can stand behind my bars. I eat a sentence for lunch. I'm not here to judge, but I can tell from all your jury. You niggas mentally cuffed. Look guilty as fuck. Always be proud to be youngest. We call it Benjamin Button. Let's keep it 100. Y'all supposed to be teaching something. Niggas ain't preaching to none. This guy body like a veteran son. Bread different. Yeah, I came from the crumbs. Niggas looking like that nigga the one. Yo, Eric Jamal, that nigga the one. Oh, yeah, I'm the one. I chant myself. Think outside the box. I don't need no belt. Every punchline on the beat get felt, and I can't be beat till I beat myself. I be right from flip yourself. I'm a Rick Ghost Rider, go and get help. Everything a bar, so I know I'm gonna sell. Niggas looking at me like a nigga made. Ooh, hold up, count that in cash. I'ma show you how you triple the bag. I remember every meal was a snack, and now we treating every meal like a stack. Way that we brag, we not talking popping no tags, so copping more shit than a badge. I know that I'm black. You think because that I rap, I should be dripping in fashion, living the fastest. Go out and buy me a jag. I'm a different type of cat, never lying when I rap. Small letters, no cap, 2 C's on my back. You ain't ask me how I been, don't ask me where I'm at. Coach Contra on the mat, real niggas that can rap. Nigga from EBT to the TIPs, told my POP, I'm a POP. On GOD, when I DIE, I'm a BIG like DAC. Or a good brother like NIP, keep going like ING. No END for all my MCs, RP. If you RIP, nigga, it's the coast. Yeah, nigga.
Yeah. Coast Contra, baby. Big boy. The Carmelo Anthony. This the last one. Make sure y'all follow Death Before Bondage. Follow Death Before Bondage. DB4 at SME. Let's get it. On all platforms too, by the way. Carmelo Anthony and the white boy. Rest in peace to the Metcalf family. You know, we don't. It's sad that this thing happened. I believe, me personally, I believe that it was self defense. But every time I hear about, every time I read the report, the police, excuse me. Every time I read the police report, and every time I read it, I just, I feel bad. I feel bad that he lost his son. But at the end of the day, it's self defense, in my opinion. Carmelo didn't afflict anything on nobody. He was sitting there, and somebody came, and the same thing we use with the Kyle Rittenhouse case. You know, self defense. How you feel about it, big boy? And then I'm gonna play a video after that.
Yeah, most definitely I feel the same way you do. It's unfortunate that the young Metcalf kid lost his life. But you can't take law into your own hands. You can't become a authority when you're not authority. If you a student, just like he's a student, even if y'all go to different schools or whether you went to the same school, if he was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be, you can't take it upon yourself to move someone on your own. You should have went got security. You should have went got a school teacher, one of the track coaches, one of the parents, faculty members. You should have went got another adult to escort him from under the tent if that's wasn't where he's supposed to be. Unfortunately, according to the reports that we read, he took it upon himself to move the kid himself. They thought the kid was bluffing, which the kid really was bluffing, but when the kid indicated that he had something, they thought he really didn't have anything. And when they proceeded to put their hands on him, the kid defended himself. They say that one witness say he was pushed. The other witness said the Metcalf kid put his hand on him and tried to grab him and force him from under the tent. And that's when the boy turned around with the thing that he had, hit him one time, and ran. So, listen, it's a sad story, but he should have got an adult. Texas is a stand your ground state. So if you ask me if they got good attorneys, the little brother have a good chance of getting a self-defense win out of this case. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me play this video real quick.
Okay.
Alex. Hey guys, and in that 7-page arrest warrant affidavit, several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother, describe how that deadly encounter went down. The suspect then reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer who detained him that he had stabbed Metcalf.
My son is gone, and I
He did not assault anyone in the beginning. He didn't start this fight. The young man approached him with his brother, threatening Carmelo to move out of a spot that was not assigned to anybody. Where Carmelo was sitting, he had a right to be sitting. There was no assigned seating anywhere in the stadium that excluded students from sitting in certain areas. Then when they went to Carmelo, he was threatened by both brothers. And he told them, don't put your hands on me. And they threatened to put their hands on him. And he told them, if you put your hands on me, watch what happens. The white kid, in this case, punched Carmelo in the face. He didn't push him, he punched him in the face. And then that young man defended himself, and unfortunately, a young student lost his life. But Charles, in the state of Texas, you have a right to stand your ground. And if you are the victim of a vicious attack, you can use deadly force if necessary to protect yourself and your life, to stop you from becoming a further victim of an assault or a crime. Why is this young man in jail when he didn't start it? He didn't approach anyone. They approached him. They used profane language toward him. They threatened him and then assaulted him, and he defended himself. Why is he in jail? He's defended himself from a vicious attack and assault. So this young man, in my opinion, should not be in jail. Teach your children. Keep your hands to yourself. That's what needs to be taught here. And to tell this young brother to give up your seat, give me your seat. This ain't no damn Rosa Parks era. You just can't go to a young black man and say, give up your seat. He had a right to sit there. And so that brother had his back of the bus moment and refused to give up his seat, and it cost that young white kid his life.
I rarely say this, Quanell. I sometimes internalize it, but shame on you. How absolutely despicable for you to sit here and try to draw this false equivalency between Rosa Parks and this scumbag murderer, right? Shame on you for living a life defined by make-believe racial grievance that you seek a pulpit to lie to people. Let's talk about those lies. Even if you assume everything that is coming out of the Carmelo Anthony camp, even if you assume all of that is true, under the laws of the state of Texas, he is still absolutely guilty of murder, period. Like, you can assume all the fabrications are true. It's still murder, right? You do not have a right to use deadly force in response to a shove or a punch. Now, mind you, all the witness statements are saying it was a shove that was goaded, but let's assume everyone's lying and this murderer is telling the truth. You still can't, because the scenario what you're advocating for, and pulling Rosa Parks into, is that every time someone walks through a club and someone shoves them or bumps them, you can pull out a knife and stab them in the heart and kill them. And I have no doubt that more is going to come out of Carmelo Anthony. That more evidence, so there are rumors that I don't want to regurgitate.
Oh, please do.
No.
Please
let's
do.
talk about what has been sold. That you sent me this weekend when we were discussing it. You sent me the statement by the police chief that turned out to be just fabricated. Somebody out there making believe the FBI is now involved, right? And that people are regurgitating all over social media. And it's all driven on racial lines. You are the one that was calling for Daniel Penny to go to prison for life. Now, mind you, we have this new spectacular game in America, right, where we play white man always is my feelings on this. If it was a white young man who brought a knife to school, went to someone else's tent, started being a jackleg, refused to move out, and then pulled out a knife and jabbed it in someone's heart, I would call him a murderer. And if so, and if a white kid did exactly what Carmelo Anthony did to a black kid, you would be out here marching in the streets.
Oh, no, I would not be.
Burning your
George Zimmerman with the Trayvon Martin and put his hands on that kid who was doing nothing wrong. And you same white folks found George Zimmerman not guilty of murder when Trayvon was defending himself. Right here in Texas, you've had many cases where white men have been assaulted by black men. They use deadly force and they're not charged.
Why are you talking about something else?
You cannot tell me.
Lying about my position, you despicable, shameless liar.
He was assaulted. That young man was assaulted. He was threatened more than one time. He was asked to move from an area he had a right to sit in. He didn't approach nobody. He didn't threaten nobody. That young man, after being threatened continuously 3 times in a row, was punched in the face. He had a right to defend himself. So don't tell me that this young man can be threatened multiple times and physically punched and assaulted, and he ain't got a right to put his hands in self-defense on the person assaulting him. And he can use whatever force is necessary to stop the attack.
Why do you just
You brought up Daniel Penny. You brought up Daniel Penny.
I did.
Daniel Penny choked a young man to death on the subway. But that young man, he had assaulted anybody. He was making threats, but he physically didn't touch anyone. This case was threats backed up by a physical attack and assault that this young man put on that young black brother. That young black brother had a right to defend himself when he was beyond threatened but viciously attacked.
Well, there's another key difference, right? Mr. Penny, had a guy, a crazy guy, going up and screaming and yelling and threatening to kill people, an unhinged guy that should have probably been in a hospital.
The same thing the white boy did to Carmelo Anthony.
You know, not screaming over you. Let me finish. Right? And Daniel Penny, not using a deadly weapon, restrained him. And I said from the very beginning, there's a real question about where the line was drawn and what he did and if he was alive. Now, the medical examiner came out and they said it turns out that the fellow was still alive when Mr. Penny let him go. But that was a very nuanced situation. But here's a big nuance. I mean, something that you're ignoring is it didn't involve a deadly weapon. But let's talk about examples. So Daniel Penny put up a GoFundMe and it got taken down. Oh, it can't be up, right? The Anthony family, the wonderful Anthony family that raised this murderer, did such a wonderful job. This defender, right, of liberty, this new Rosa Parks for 2025, as you call them. They put a GoFundMe up for $100,000. It didn't get taken down. The moment, minutes after it got the $100,000, they jacked it up for more money because it's all just a con.
George Zimmerman raised $1 million that was donated to him after killing Trayvon Martin. Kyle Rittenhouse, after he killed 2 people in cold blood, he raised over $1 million. Wait a minute, the officer who killed Michael Brown, he raised almost $2 million. So don't tell me that when black folks decide to put money and support behind a young brother who didn't start a fight, who didn't threaten nobody, who was sitting where he could have right to be sitting, was threatened more than one time, was physically attacked, he defends himself, and then all of a sudden he's in jail for murder. But guess what, brother? We gonna stand behind ours like you white folks stand behind yours.
Okay, let me
that
be
young
clear.
brother was attacked.
I know you're yelling because you really get worked up when you're lying. Well, let me say very clear.
But then it's justified.
Us killing
but when we defend ourselves, now, it's murder.
Let's hell with that. Firstly, George Zimmerman, absolutely a murderer. The officer that shot Michael Brown, there's evidence that Michael Brown attacked him. The question is, there's also some evidence that he was running away that was refuted. That's a very weird situation. It exemplifies wall.
But this young man attacked Carmelo Anthony.
Hold on, Mr. Liar in Chief.
No, you're a liar.
No, I'm not going to lie.
You white folks hate when black folks
you brought up George Zimmerman. He was prosecuted. It failed.
And white folks found him not guilty. All white
he was absolutely a murderer, in my opinion. I disagreed with that outcome. Just like I disagree with the officer that murdered Tamir Rice, not facing charges. You found not guilty. You act like, well, he was never charged.
A grand jury said not guilty. Let him go.
Here's the thing. You act like all white people have this one
I'm gonna play that.
Opinion. What we're only seeing in America right now is the only thing we see is the brazenness of some people. Obviously, it's not everyone that racialize every incident, and they look at it through the prism of race, right? And for you, if you flip flop the races here, you would be screaming about the entire different thing, and I'd be agreeing with you that was wrong. But you make all of your decisions based on race. Then you lie and scream
That's
and
your
talk.
assessment
No, it's
here.
not an assessment
Because there's a white victim in this.
Big boy, you got something to say? Yeah.
I just hope you're able to play this video I sent you in your phone. It's like 2 or 3 minutes, because I want everybody to pay attention to what he said about what the white guy said about being shoved in a stand your ground state, right? And that you can't do something to somebody for a shove in your stand your ground state. And I just want you guys to see about white supremacy and what happens and how things could happen when it's white, but it can't happen when you're black. Because I got a video. I don't know if you're going to be able to play it. You might can load it or whatever. It's only like a 2 or 3 minute video. Were you able to get it, POW?
Yeah, but that's not on the device that I got. But give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay. If you can't, don't worry.
Instantly. Drop.
If it's going to be too much, don't worry about it. I just want people to see the hypocrisy when we call out white supremacy and another reason why I don't trust white folks. I don't think they could ever be fair or just when it comes to us as black people. They're gonna always see a difference when it comes to us and them. Just straight up. And this video will be cut and dry because he admitted that he read where the boy was shoved. And he said because someone is shoved, you don't have a right to take somebody's life because they're shoved. Well, I want to show you this video where someone was shoved in a stand your ground state, and the man didn't even do 1 day in jail. Didn't do an hour in jail.
Hey, big boy, it'll be better if you bring up an article because that's just sad.
I'll just tell people about it and hopefully they'll remember.
Yeah.
It's the case that happened in Florida, where a man went inside the store with his son. His wife was sitting in the car. The white man came out, was trying to get his wife to move out of the handicapped parking spot. When the black man came out and seen the white man being a Karen going off on his wife, he pushed the white man down. When he pushed the white man down, the white man came from his side with a pistol and shot the black man to death for pushing him. And he didn't do a day in jail because it was stand your ground. So the fact that the black man pushed him, the white man was able to pull that gun from his side and shoot that black man down. And that white man didn't do a day in jail, not 1 day. So I wish y'all could have saw the video so you could see it for yourself. But absolutely. But you heard what he was saying in reference to the other group. Can you hear me, POW?
Yeah. You talking about the stand your ground?
Yes. So
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was telling them to go to YouTube and type in Florida Sheriff won't charge man in deadly stand your ground shooting.
No, I got it right here. I know what case you was talking about.
Yeah.
You talking about Michael Dreschka. I'm not saying his name right. But he did get 20 years for that.
Who, the white guy?
Yeah, he got 20 years for that.
No, not this white guy. This white guy didn't do a day in jail.
You talking about the one in front of you talking about the one where the black guy got shot and went in the store and he died in front of his His son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the case in Florida. That didn't they didn't rule in favor of the white guy. I've been following that case.
Wow, they say he wasn't even charged. I didn't know that. Well, that's a
That was
missed
probably
video.
an old video then, because he probably wasn't initially charged or something. I don't know,
Okay.
but yeah. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we're gonna play a little video while I'm doing something real quick. The video is so I can do other stuff. Which one? We're gonna go here, baby.
I told you I killed a nigga at 16. Would you believe me or see me to be just an angel that's easy to please? Angled, accompanied by a gang of niggas that squeeze once their marks the entire mark. That's the fucking mark of the beast. I ain't trying so hard to follow God, you know, anointed oil. Plant some Bibles in the front yard, rebuking the turmoil. My dreams of being like Jordan is spoil you. My temperature high that it boil you. See, homicide is good for you. I'm loyal to my feelings. I tried to stay righteous and cordial, but these feelings are 22s, a producer, new zoo. These gorillas, they let loose at 245. Oh, 245, drink Coke 45 and shoot. Walking outside, slipping like Kenneth Coles. On a slab of grease, body found inside a pothole. 4x h8te just to cover up this long nose. And that bitch I hang to my knee like a dress. I confess I'm depressed. I suppose I more than likely invest my best in a llama. Hop out, gun your ass down in front of you. Mama, I tried to follow God like Bishop, but when they see that you bitch up, prepare for a ditch of dirt. I give you a list of families that hurt, but oh well, fuck it, that's life. And that's the color your son that chose to put on tonight. So when self-respect, just know I say it's an honor. Hop out, gun is down in front of you, mama. Like kindergartners, my vision's bothered by vigilantes that harbor on street corners. Try your hardest to harvest bundles of weed on you, the starving, the speed on you, stampede on you, impede on your pockets, then pee on you. Dreams of us living lavish in fabrics of fine linen, spinning established with women dining and laughing. But this environment got us violent, ready to crash into society. Take the driver's seat, hope you fasten your seatbelts twice. When I rolled them dice, I cracked so many times I can build casinos from scratch. Too many daps you might receive from the things you achieve. Relax, that's what my mental say, but my physical's been detached. I'm on some other shit, like fuck the government. I'm higher rankings with a mothership. I made the covenant that I was changing, but my luck has been quite disgusting when reality tainted. Where the fuck you been? Left him face down like he was planking in a cold world where old girl and a homeboy got a motive. You can bitch curl your tribulation, that sensation's insulting. Got a white fee or a mistress, nigga, which one you indulging? Regardless of who you pick, no life's a bitch when you ain't focused, nigga. 877, you been waiting for this New York.
People are just kind of tired of them already. Let me tell you something, the anti-black racists. Why are people tired of hearing you whine? Okay? You don't realize how much of a failure you are. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not gonna do no name calling. I'm not gonna do any of that. We're gonna just talk logic here. Okay. You whine all day about what you discriminated against, all this stuff you whine about. What you're not talking about is the 400 to 500 year failure that you are. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. Before you even came over here, you failed in Europe. You couldn't get nothing going on in Europe. You were fighting each other, cannibalizing each other, just filth and disease in Europe. Okay. You brought that filth and disease to this land. A lot of Native Americans didn't die off because of wars with y'all. They died off with having contact with you because of the diseases that you brought from Europe. I mean, look, everything I'm saying, you can look it up. I don't have to lie. Okay. You first came here, you tried to get a colony going. You couldn't get that going. You failed at that too. You start cannibalizing each other there too, right? Everywhere you were going just by yourself, you failed. You have a perpetual history of failure. You did not get nothing going good for yourself until we got involved in the mix. And when we got involved with it, that's what made you successful. That's what made you so rich, is because of us, right? Some of you say, why are we even involved then? We should have picked our own cotton. Right, you could have, but you wouldn't have did that right either. You wouldn't have picked cotton right. You wouldn't have did tobacco. You wouldn't have did sugarcane right. But if you did everything right, you wouldn't have to come over here. For sure. You wouldn't have to go colonize everywhere you had to colonize, because you literally need other people outside of yourself to maintain your life. You can't just stay in Europe and maintain your life with nobody's resources, don't need nothing from nobody. Y'all just stay in Europe and have a great time. Okay? Now, let's talk about the ones in this country. You had a 400-year head start.
Uh-oh.
On FBA. And the reason why you hear some black people say they have no sympathy for you when you talk about your poverty and your problems, you've had a 400-year head start. You should never be in poverty. You should never have a problem. You should never be homeless. You should never be jobless. You should never not have a car. You should always have everything because you have 400-year head start. See, you squandered a 400-year head start. How do you do that? How do you squander a 400-year head start? You give me a 1-year head start on somebody, I'm gonna get ahead real quick. But you had a 400-year head start, and then you look at the black people who are literally sat at the bottom, okay? Sabotage every way to shape, form, or fashion. Every time we try to get something on our own, you come to destroy it, you come to sabotage it. Every single time. We had to rebuild. We invent something, you steal the patent. We invent something else, you try to kill us off because you don't like that we can create something, so you can steal it and call it for yourself. Everything you ever done to hold down the black man and woman of America. And yet, like Maya Angelou said, still we rise in the midst of all your sabotage. And your fight is because you are a failure. You can't deal with competition because you're a failure. The reason why Joe Biden, and he's a Democrat, put 100% tariff on Chinese EVs is because y'all can't compete with them. Meaning, if you had to compete with a Chinese EV and what y'all dealing with that apartheid Afrikaner over here, Elon Musk, obviously the Chinese EVs would beat out Tesla.
Ooh, that boy was cooking. Man, that boy was cooking, big boy. That boy was cooking, man. Uncle Phil. Make sure y'all follow Uncle Phil on African Diaspora channel. He's a foundational Black American, but he still show his love and his appreciation for the African diaspora, as he should. As he should. All right. So shout out to Uncle Phil, man. He do a lot of work in connecting the African diaspora, giving FBA Foundational Black Americans jobs. You know, make sure y'all follow him and support him, man. For real, for real. But as far as what he was saying about competition, big boy, right? I've been saying that. All right, big boy doing something right now.
No,
but
go ahead.
Yeah. But far as competition, when they say we all equal and all that, and this ain't hate speech or nothing, but when they say we all equal, I be thinking, I always thought like, how we all equal and y'all had a 400-year head start, and still don't even want to give us the reparations. That don't sound equal to me. That sound like we a that sound like we a problem. That sound like we an issue, right? That sound like we got some type of advantage that we must don't know we have. Obviously, because we don't got no nuclear weapon, we don't got no army, right? I say we, I'm talking foundational Black Americans. We ain't got no nuclear weapons, we ain't got no army. So what do we got that is that much of a threat, man? I just always find that funny. So when they say we are all equal, listen, man. Obviously, I can't be equal to a person or to a system, right? Because we talking about white supremacy, a system, institution, systems, policies, governments. I can't be equal if you got to use all this trickery. You know, if I race somebody to the corner, if I race somebody to the corner, and I'm like, we're gonna race to the corner. And as we race into the corner, I'm using all types of banana peels, and I'm putting spikes in the road, and I got my boy Big Boy to run the dude off the road. If I'm doing all this wicked stuff just so the competition won't be fair, then obviously I don't believe that the person I'm going against is equal. I believe that the person I'm going against has some type of superpower or just some type of advantage, because I can't race this guy to the corner without some type of trickery, some type of wicked ass play to it. So when he say competition, I just you know, it just lets me know that me and my brother, I never met the dude, whatever. But we still on code though. We still on code, because I always thought that, like, how we equal and y'all won't even give us reparations. We still 3/5 of a human being in the Constitution. I'm just trying to figure out. I might be lost. Big boy, you still good over there?
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How you feel about what I was saying? And what Uncle Phil was saying.
Oh,
African diaspora. Philip Scott, African diaspora channel. Follow him.
cooking. I'm with it.
Yeah,
You know, ain't no equal, man. You know that. And the world know that. And they know that.
yeah, man. At least give us our reparations and give us 100 years. Give us 100. At least give us 100 years with our reparations. Then we can be like, all right, we on your tail feather. You feel me? Because by 2050, the black net worth is gonna be at a zero. So they can tell me all about what LeBron James is doing and Jay-Z is doing and Oprah is doing, but whatever the fuck they doing, it can't be that much, because it ain't gonna help our net worth. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, I find that all interesting, man. Find it all interesting, man. Follow Death Before Bondage, man. Make sure y'all go follow. Make sure y'all follow me right now on YouTube,
Shout out to
Instagram.
everybody who rode with us, man. Shout out to everybody else.
Yeah, man. We to the end of the show, man. I think we did our due diligence. We got over 400 people in the show. We're gonna be consistent with it.
Yes, sir.
I got people playing, my neighbors, but yeah,
Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate y'all coming ride with us.
appreciate everybody. It's your boy Furious, aka POW, Prisoner of War.
And this shit
Uh,
live with
I wear many hats. But never the cat. The real's gonna feel and the fake gonna hate. Give them your shout outs, big boy.
Oh man,
The
I'm live.
follows.
Big boy, everybody call me BB225. You can find me live with BB225 on YouTube. We're gonna start doing some stuff over there as well soon, maybe next week. But nah, man, appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you riding with us. Hope you enjoy. Sometime you guys gonna have to sign up, and come up and be a part of the conversations that we're having. Hopefully, this won't be the last time we hear each other. Hopefully, you guys start participating with us as well. I would love to hear other people's perspective as well. But we appreciate you guys, man. That's all I got to say, PO.
All right. Yeah, follow me at Death Before Bondage. Wear many hats, but never the cap. The real's gonna feels and the fake gonna hate, brother.
That's it.
We standing on business.
That's it.
All right, we out of here.
All right,
Love y'all.
peace.
I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or
our ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Brought to you by Death Before Bondage.
I might be anywhere, but when I leave, you remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.